Welcome to I24 News Sports Daily Magazine with all the latest scores and stories from around the world. Monday evening, a new and exciting week of sports is here, and these are the headlines. Japan's Yuzuru Hanyu takes the gold in the figure skating, perhaps the most prestigious competition in the Winter Olympics, and the first gold medal in the sport that goes to an Asian athlete. Arsenal did not have to wait very long. Just a week after being crushed by Liverpool in the Premier League, they knocked the Merseysiders out of the FA Cup. The East beats the West in the All-Star. More than all, it was an offensive display with the highest score in All-Star history. Once again, defense was absent. And check out the surfing pig, who's not afraid to tackle the waves. Maybe it's not really surprising when you grow up in Hawaii. Hello again, and thank you for joining us. We are live from the Jaffa Port. Monday evening is our European football tour time. We'll do that in a little while, but now it's time for Sochi. We're less than a week from the finish line of the Winter Olympics, and we have some big stories coming from the ice in Sochi. And here to lead us through them is figure skater Wendy Rohde. Hi, Wendy.
Hello again.
Wendy, many rumors in Sochi with Russia taking the team figure skating. Some people say maybe they'll just leave aside the individual events. And then Yevgeny Plushenko does not go on the ice in the individual event. Is there something fishy to it?
I don't know. I really don't think so, because we're seeing criticism even from many Russians and Russian politicians even. There's one Russian politician has even gone as far and called Plushenko an invalid, and he wants to now pass a new law that prohibits athletes from competing in more than 2 Olympics.
Invalid. The man who won 4 Olympic medals is an invalid.
Apparently.
That's a new
12
one.
surgeries later. I think he was just injured, and sad for him. But what a great victory for Yuzuru Hanyu, being Asia's first gold medal for the men's figure skating. It's an amazing feat.
We just saw him doing his drill. He fell twice, not once, twice, and still was able to win it.
Of course, it's a very, very difficult sport, and even the best fall. You see many falls in the Olympics. So they're bouncing on a blade that's a few millimeters thick. It's not easy stuff. But he skated overall better than the others, and that's why he won. And he happens to be the youngest. He's 19, and so that means he's the youngest male figure skater to win the Olympics in 66 years.
And if he's 19, he's still going to be there in 4 years, maybe in 8 years.
Could be. And he actually is the first figure skater to get over 100 points in the short program, which is probably what made him stay on top.
Obviously someone to look for. Now let's move to the ice dancing, and here a big rivalry, the US against Canada. Maybe surprising, but the Americans are leading ahead of tonight's final stages. They may be on the race for the gold.
If I was a betting woman, I would bet on it. I think that
You're American also, we should say, patriotism.
Yeah, but all bias aside, Merrill Davis and Charlie White, they are just, they're on fire. They haven't, their biggest competitors are Virtue and Moore of Canada, and they haven't lost to them in 5 events. And these two, the Americans, they've been skating together for 18 years. They've won the short program. I think they're just going to sail through the free dance and make history as the first Americans to win the gold medal in ice dance.
It seems that every time Americans and Canadians take to the ice together, something interesting is going to happen. Let's move to the slopes, and for the first time, I think, Dominic Gisson and Tina Mays, they made history. They both won gold medal. They didn't compete together. They competed one against each other, exactly identical times.
To the 100th of a second.
To the 100th of a second. So both get a gold, no silver.
Exactly. It's the first ever dead heat finish in alpine skiing final event in the Olympics, and I think it's an amazing victory for both of them. They both have amazing stories. Gisson had to overcome 9 knee surgeries to get here, and Mays, she was the Wonder Woman of last year,
she lost
lost her mojo, but nope, she didn't. She found it.
And one quick note, Maria Komisarova, we saw her failing, injuring her back. How big of a blow is that to the games, especially bearing the fact that they are in Russia?
Well, you know, it's really unfortunate. 6 hours after she went into surgery, Putin came to visit her, and it's a dangerous sport, and the Olympics pushes things to go
reminding us all that this is not just fun and games.
No.
Wendy Rohde, our winter sports expert, thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
And here's a look at the medal table in Sochi. Germany had the gold medal tally with 7, while the overall leader is the Netherlands with 17 medals, 5 of them being gold. Norway and Switzerland also with 5 gold medals. The US and Russia both have 16 medals overall, with 4 of them being gold. We turn now to football and to Spain, where the top of La Liga continues to be a close and very intense affair. Real Madrid met Getafe for a little Madrid derby, knowing that both the rivals on the top already took the points and they were missing suspended Cristiano Ronaldo. Pressure? Maybe, but only for 5 minutes. That's the time it took Jesse to put Carlo Ancelotti's team on top. And still in the first half, Karim Benzema added one more. Getafe was no real match for the Merengues, who scored again after the break. Luka Modric with a long-range shot, Real Madrid easily winning 3-0. Atletico Madrid had a dismal week, losing twice in the Spanish Cup and once in the league, but any thought of a crisis that would leave them out of the race were long gone after 3 minutes when Raul Garcia found the net, and it only got better as 2 minutes later Diego Costa showed just how much style he has with the beautiful chip. It's the perfect start for Diego Simeone's boys, and there was time for one more in the second half. Diego Godin heading in the corner kick, 3-0 final score. Should Manchester City be concerned ahead of their meeting with Barcelona tomorrow in the Champions League? If we can judge by what Rayo Vallecano had to go through in the Camp Nou, the answer is definitely yes. It's not only the 6 goals that Barca scored, it's the fact that they make it look so easy. And maybe more than all, Messi scoring 2 goals for the second week in a row, showing us all that he's back to his old form. 6-0 was the final score. Barcelona saved the best for last. What a blast by Neymar just as the game was ending. And now it's time for some samba. "14 games to go in La Liga, and only goal difference separates the top 3 teams. Barcelona is first, Real Madrid is second, and Atletico Madrid third. All 3 teams with 60 points, and also all 3 still competing in the Champions League. Moving now to England, where the Premier League was off, leaving the stage for the round of 16 in the FA Cup. A giant match at the Emirates Stadium where Arsenal was hosting Liverpool. This is always a big game, but with this one coming just a week after the Merseysiders thrashed the Gunners 5-1 at Anfield, Arsenal was looking for their revenge, and they got it. Chamberlain and Podolski scored for the North London club. Liverpool did hit one back after Suarez was brought down in the area, and Stevie G scored from the spot, but it was not enough. The visitors thought they should have been awarded another penalty again on Suarez. The referee says no. It may not be a 5-1, but it's good enough to knock Liverpool out, and for Arsenal, it's as sweet as it can be. And another revenge in the making, as Manchester City was looking for one against Chelsea 2 weeks after the Blues were the first English team to walk out with 3 points from the Etihad Stadium. Same location this time, but a different outcome. Jovetic and Nasri score for the Citizens, who are through to the quarterfinals. Chelsea are still strong in the race for the Premiership, but not anymore in the FA Cup. 4 more teams are also through to the final 8. Sunderland, Wigan, Everton, and Sheffield United. 2 more games to be played. Sheffield Wednesday against Charlton, and Brighton against Hull City. Records in sport, as we all know, can be a matter of just tenths or hundredths of a second, meaning every possible detail that can give an athlete just a small lead can turn out to be decisive. Women athletes with high levels of testosterone enjoy a big advantage, and there are calls to prevent that. Liz Barenboim with a story.
Recently in Iran, a surprising revelation about its national football players has shocked the local football federation chiefs. They discovered that 4 players of the national team were actually men. The players haven't finalized their sex change operation and suffer from sexual dysfunction. In Iran, sex change operations are legal while homosexuality and extramarital sex are prohibited. This has inspired the Iranian Football Federation to enforce tests on its female athletes in order to prove their femininity. so they can continue playing in the local women's professional league. This event revives the debate about gender bending in sports. In 2009, South African middle distance runner Caster Semenya had revealed her intersexuality after a gender test. Although the results were partly negative, Semenya was authorized to remain in the female category and even won the gold medal that year at the World Championships in Berlin. In a world where cheating is common, men competing in the women's category could have its benefits. To prevent this kind of mishap, the International Olympic Committee has implemented new measures to determine who should compete as a woman. The rule is simple. Men and women are defined by their level of testosterone, as a high level of the hormone makes sports performances easier. But according to a study led by a British endocrinologist, 5% of women report having male testosterone values, a condition known as hyperandrogenism.
It's so rigorous and so important to do the tests and not to make quick judgments, quick decisions on someone looks like a man, therefore they must be a man, this type of thing. It's much more serious than that, and it needs to be studied very carefully.
Even though the Iranian initiative can be seen as a way to prevent female sports from existing, in Muslim countries, female sports are a new developing trend. In Egypt, women's football is seen as a way to control women's leisure, as in Lebanon, women's teams have been multiplying in recent years.
In a conservative society like ours, websites and satellite channels could have a negative impact on girls, pushing them to have indecent behavior. But when they play football, they're framed and are focused on the fact that they play for their country. They spend all their energy, and when they go home, they do their homework and go to sleep.
Ultimately, Iran wishes to put men and women in their traditional roles. In Tehran, a city where women don't have the right to attend football matches, gender bending isn't favorable.
Now to the NBA and to the unofficial slam dunk and no defense contest. You may know it as the All-Star. LeBron James was on one side, Kevin Durant on the other. This is a preview to a mouth-watering final series. Days will tell. Very early on, LeBron demonstrated what this game is all about. Run from side to side and just slam it. Defense was not really on the menu this weekend in New Orleans, allowing the Stars to display their showcase, whether it's power jams or very uncontested three-point shots, nothing but net. The West was dominant in the last few years, winning the previous 3 All-Star games, and they held the lead early on, but the East comes back. Some highlight moves make it a very close game, and with 2 minutes to go, it was already clear this will be the All-Star game with the highest result. While the West was trying to secure it, Carmelo Anthony sinks his 8th three-point shot, an All-Star record, and the East wins it for the first time in 4 years, 163-155. Tennis now as we head to the final of the Rotterdam tournament in the Netherlands. World number 7 Thomas Berdych has not won an ATP title for nearly a year and a half, but he was still very successful during this time, leading the Czech Republic to 2 successive Davis Cup wins, and just last month he reached the semi-final of the Australian Open. Now he finally enjoys success in the ATP again as he beat Croatian Marin Cilic 6-4, 6-2 for his 9th title. Following this win, Berdych is expected to rise again to his highest career ranking, the world number 5. And now to the final of the Qatar ladies. Simona Halep was looking to clinch her first title of the year against Angelique Kerber. Halep was dominant in the first set, finishing with an easy 6-2, much to the delight of the Romanian crowd in the stands. Second set and match point for the Romanian. Kerber hits a failed first serve and continues with a double fault. Halep wins 6-2, 6-3 and takes her 7th WTA title, also advancing to a career-high ranking, the world number 9. And Rafael Nadal is getting ready for the newly revived Rio de Janeiro Open starting this week. The world number 1 visited the Maracanã Stadium in Rio, which hosted a derby between arch rivals Vasco da Gama and Flamengo, the first match in the iconic stadium since the Confederation Cup final between Brazil and Spain last summer. Since then, the Maracanã was in renovation. Afterwards, it was all business for Nadal as he went training under the supervision of the giant Christ of Rio de Janeiro, the Corcovado. Nadal, who has not played since the loss in the Australian Open, will face fellow Spaniard Daniel Gimeno Trever in the first round of the Rio de Janeiro Open tomorrow. The old saying goes, when pigs fly, but here's a pig that can swim and even surf. Meet Kamapua, or Kama for short, a Hawaiian piglet that has no fear from water and even takes a ride on his owner's surfboard. Kama's water skills were discovered when he stumbled into his adopting family's swimming pool, and since then the little pig has been catching waves on Hawaii's famous beaches and even gets free boards, clothes, and a GoPro camera for his surfing action. We've seen surfing dogs before, but a surfing pig is really, really unusual. And that's it for today. Thank you for being with us. Don't forget you can watch us anytime on our website at i24news.tv. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter, and we will see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a beautiful day.